Hey friends, welcome back to the show. I'm joined here today by Keenya Kelly, a video marketing strategist. And Kenya's case study is going to be about how she used a ManyChat bot to create an automation that generated 428 leads in 60 days. And those leads, by the way, generated about $15,000, or if you want to get really specific, $15,385 on the back end. Now, I know ManyChat is a very hot topic right now. A lot of marketers, a lot of online businesses are using it. So I'm really excited to get into the details. But first, Kenya, we want to hear your cubicle to CEO story. What was that catalyst that led you into entrepreneurship?
So I've actually been kind of like an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. I got into network marketing early on. And when you're exposed to the type of money people make in network marketing, it's really hard to have a job. Now, I did work in corporate. I made six figures at my job, but it was like once I had seen the possibilities of time freedom, financial freedom, and just me being myself was like there was something more attractive about that than continuing to have a full-time job.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I believe so much in that saying. And I don't know who originally coined it, but if you can see her, you can be her. I really feel like platforms like this that expose you to people's stories from different walks of life and backgrounds show you a path that maybe you haven't lived yourself, but you see it in someone else and you go, oh, okay, my mind has expanded to encompass that possibility now. So love that. So for you then, as a video marketing strategist, ManyChat has actually been around for many, many years. It's interesting. My first exposure to ManyChat, I think, was in 2018, long before it was kind of a household name in the online business space. When was the first time you came across ManyChat? And with the case study that we're going to be diving into today, is this a newer strategy that you're implementing in your own business, or was this something that you've kind of tested for several years?
I think I got exposed to ManyChat probably in 2019, maybe early 2020, just being in other people's, like their bots, you're like commenting a word and you're watching this like automated thing kind of happen. But I didn't really dive into it for myself until 2020 when we hired our very first Facebook ad strategist. And she was heavily into chatbots. And it was just like, for me, it was quite the whirlwind because I'm a creative visionary. I'm not very technical, but I was like, if she says it's working, then let's go. You know what I mean?
I love that you were so open to it, especially before AI, was really the talk of the town like it is now. But for those who maybe are still newer to this concept, maybe have never heard of ManyChat before or have seen it in play on the user side, but have never actually hosted their own ManyChat automation on the back end, can you give us a high level walkthrough of one of your ManyChat automations? And then we'll dig into the data around this specific case study. So maybe start with like the keyword and kind of just walk us all the way through the end.
For sure. So we have one of our chatbot like is a keyword, which is the word hooks, because we have a free guide teaching people 75 hooks for your short video. And so what we do on the back end is that we go into ManyChat and we tell them when someone types the word hooks, then we want you to automatically reply to them saying, great, check your DM. And then the moment that they check their DM, it's like, hi, you were interested in our 75 hooks, right? Click get updates if you are. Then a person clicks get updates. Then it asks them for their name. They put their name. It asks them for their email. They put their email. And then immediately the hooks come directly to them in their Instagram DM. But then Zapier automatically zaps them into our email system. And it works extremely well.
Amazing. So the chat is kind of like guiding them through the information you need to collect rather than it just being a form that they fill out themselves. If for any reason, let's say the bot is like, what's your name? And you say Keenya. And then they're like, okay, Keenya, what's your email? And you're like, actually, I don't want to give you my email yet. If someone gives an answer that isn't part of the expected responses, I guess, how does the bot react to that? Or at that point, does the bot kind of just say, oh, I don't understand your response. I'll let someone else chat with you. And is the person aware, I guess, that they're speaking with a non-human at that point.
For sure. So they are 100% aware that they're speaking with a non-human because it happens too fast for it to actually be me. And I think that most people have gotten used to the fact of, oh, this is just an automated type of process that she has or they have. I believe that if they say something that is not their email address, then I don't think it talks back to them, but it talks to me. Because I often will get an email that says, hey, John is trying to talk to you inside of ManyChat. And so then I'll go to ManyChat and I can see, oh, this person didn't give their email. They said something else. And then now me or a member of my team can then go and give their information there. But I think that what we're experiencing is like probably 75% of people are okay with giving their email address versus a couple years ago when they're like, nope, we're not doing it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't know that piece actually, that if someone gave a response that wasn't, part of the typical flow, that you would actually receive a notification about that. That's very, very helpful. I know that for you, you're using ManyChat currently to send people both to freebies like the hooks guide that you just talked about, as well as paid offers. I would love to know, when you do send them to paid offers, are using that chat automation, are you sending them directly to a sales page, a checkout page link, or do you actually send them to another form of a sales generator like a webinar before they get to the sales page?
So we're actually testing a couple of things. What we're seeing is not working is when we send them directly to the paid offer. We send them to the paid offer, they go to it, and like most people are not following all the way through. Some people are putting in their name and their email, and then our abandoned cart series is kicking in. So what we are learning is that we're trying to put in place now is that instead of sending people directly to these paid offers that they're not buying immediately, why don't we send them to a webinar or something free about it? That way we can capture them, their email as a lead, share with them our information, and then we can continually follow up.
Okay, that's really great to know from your own experience then, that the free route seems to be converting higher for you on the back end. You just mentioned your abandoned cart email series. That was something that I definitely wanted to ask you about when I was reviewing the information that you had submitted prior to this interview. So just going to my notes here real quick, you said, okay, typically when you're sending a lead magnet, it has clickable links to your paid offers at the bottom of each page. So like on that hooks guide that you mentioned. And then you said, usually in our process, a bot then sends a follow-up message about the 3-day challenge or your vertical video mastery. So both are paid offers with a link to sign up. And then you said, if the lead abandons cart, then they are sent through a follow-up abandoned cart email sequence. So I want to first go to that bot follow-up where they're sending a message about a paid offer. How many days or even how many hours after someone first sends that keyword to get the free offer is your bot following up then with a paid offer?
Immediately.
Oh, wow. Okay. Love it.
Yes, because basically how the way we have it set up is that someone does the keyword, they immediately receive the free offer in Instagram. Now the bot doesn't immediately say something to them in Instagram or Facebook, but they get the confirmation email to their email address immediately. And when they get that confirmation email is giving them what they just got on DM on Instagram, but it's also saying, but also, and then it's offering them immediately the paid offer.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Does the bot itself in Instagram DMs also at a later point send a follow-up message with that paid invitation? And if so, what is the gap between, the first freebie message and then the bot follow-up message?
So if we're in like a launch season, we're doing like a 3-day challenge or something, then the bot is going to follow up with them within 3 hours. And then it will follow up again within 18. And then it will continue to follow up with them for, I think it's a day or 24 hours or something like that. If we are not in a launch, then it'll follow up with them within 12 hours.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so just to repeat for our listeners, if you didn't catch all that, in a launch window, it sends the first follow-up with a paid offer at 3 hours, then 18 hours, then again in 24 hours. In a non-launch, it's a 12-hour window. I'm just curious, why distinguish, I guess, for example, like in the launch window, when you're following up within 3 hours, in a non-launch, why not also have a shorter time window? What did you find about that 12-hour window that you feel is working for your people?
What we found was that when we were following up with people not doing a launch time, we were getting way more people saying stop to the bot, way more people opting out of our emails. And so we were like, okay, when we are under a time constraint, then we go a little bit like we're a little bit more aggressive, but also our social media is even more aggressive. So like the way that they're coming in contact with us is there's a lot happening in a good way. So they're going, oh, she's got this free thing. Oh, she's doing this right now. So they can feel our urgency. Whereas another time it's like, oh, it just feels slower. And we're like, let's just nurture that relationship, you know?
That completely makes sense. So in a non-launch season, when they're getting that first follow-up with a paid offer inside Instagram DMs at the 12-hour mark, if they do not respond to that, or if they don't, take any action on that, is there any subsequent follow-ups from the bot itself inside DMs, or is it just that one and done at the 12-hour mark?
The non launch?
Yeah, during the non-launch, correct.
No. I think we do 24-hour follow up. I can't quite remember that, but I don't think we do a whole lot. I think we just we try to focus more on email follow up. Now, we could be missing an opportunity there, which is why I'm glad you asked me that. But I do think there's an opportunity to follow up with them within a day, 2 days, or 7 days, but we don't as much.
Okay, no, that's really, really great to know. As you're looking at, your data, are you finding that when people do convert from, that lead magnet opt-in to a paid customer, whatever offer they end up buying on the back end, do you find that most of your sales are coming from the automated email sequence follow-ups or from the bot message follow-ups? I'm curious if you know that.
Well, we can see that for the most part, if they're coming in through ManyChat, then they're definitely getting a much higher conversion from the regular email follow-ups, not more so the bot follow-ups. Yeah, I don't think it's much more for the bots. I think it's high like 80% from email follow-ups.
Okay, that's really good to know. So it seems like the ManyChat automation is more about the ease and convenience of actually capturing someone's initial information, like their email, and then the buy-in is really happening through email, like you're saying. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, and also like I'm getting a visual picture of that what's happening. So like when we're in a launch season, our bot is so aggressive in a way that I'll check back. I think it was within like 20, probably 24 hours. I will see where it says, hey, did you get signed up? Because we programmed it. I just can't remember. But it'll follow up and say, hey, did you sign up for the challenge? And the person will say yes or no. And so I think it actually it's doing a high conversion with the challenge, not the bigger paid offers. Like the challenge is only like $27. But when we're trying to sell a $2,000 product, like the bot's it's not converting as high. It's definitely doing better on email.
Yeah. And this is just my opinion, so I could be totally wrong here, but I do feel like for some reason in our brains, at least for me, when I'm on the receiving end of like a mini chat automation flow versus an automated email flow, even though I know as a marketer that both of those are automated sequences, it's not like you were sitting at your computer, Keenya, and like, today I'm going to email Ellen about this, this invitation. I know it's an automation, but for whatever reason, when I'm receiving an email and reading an email, it feels more human. It feels more personal. Like, okay, I'm having this, this dialogue of some sorts, or maybe even just knowing, hey, if I responded to this email on the other end, there's a human who's going to see it versus, I guess, responding to a chat automation. You could be saying the same words, but for some reason, it doesn't feel quite as personal. Do you kind of experience that similar feeling?
For sure. Yeah. So when I'm in other people's bots, I definitely feel that same way. And then people feel the same. Like we've gotten a little bit of complaints, just a little bit of people being like, well, where's Keenya? When is Keenya going to actually talk back to us? So, and I think that because we have been programmed negatively about bots because, bots technically are like bad because they're like doing these like follow unfollow type things. And so I think our programming right now is being we're being reprogrammed or whatever. But the current our state of being is that bots are bad, emails are better,
Well, I appreciate your honesty there, to say like, hey, not everyone loves being on the receiving end of this. And I do think there is a learning curve, but as it becomes more and more prevalent, not just in this industry, but across really all user experiences in our life, it will become more normalized. I would love to know that though, you said sometimes people are like, hey, when is Keenya going to come and chat with me? When do you step in and start to actually take over the chat manually? Is there a certain cadence that you follow? Is it only if someone asks like a direct question that the bot can't answer? Like where do you typically bring in that human touch?
Yeah. So what we started to do was because with vertical video, like you just blow up. Like the way that your comments and all this stuff blow up, it's insane. So we actually hired a girl to focus all on comments and DMs. And so every single day, her job is to go, even if it shows that we have zero unopened DMs, her job is to go and check and see, did the bot talk to people and they're waiting on something? And so every day she comes in and whatever she can actually respond to, she does. The things she can't, she screenshots it and sends me a message and says, hey, I don't know how to respond to this person. They really want to talk to you. And then I really will come in and say, oh, hey, what's going on or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that's really good to know. That reminds me of, we don't have any coaching programs anymore in our business and switching to a media company, but back when we did, I remember one of the things that really helped in our private community when, all these students were asking coaching questions is I had two amazing coaches that would answer most of those Facebook questions. But sometimes, like you said, there were instances where it was like they just really need your perspective on this. And so what helped, and this is, I'm kind of just sharing for our listeners in case this sparks any ideas for you guys, but what helped for us on the organization side is instead of kind of like sending me those questions as they were coming in, at the end of each day, one of my coaches would basically hyperlink to the individual posts that would need my attention. And she would assign all of them to me in a ClickUp task due in like 24 hours. So that was kind of helpful just because I wasn't being inundated like here and there with like these, hey, this needs your attention, and kind of made it feel a little bit less like urgent. So, anyways, that just kind of sparked that memory for me as you were talking. The mini chat automations you mentioned a bit ago that you feel they work best with like the challenge, that $27 low ticket. Have you tested, like, if someone, let's say, opts into the low ticket $27 challenge, have you tested sending some sort of automated follow up in DMs separate from your email follow up, being like, hey, we just wrapped up our challenge. I'm so glad you're part of it. I think you're ready for this next step, and trying to sell them into your $2,000 program. Have you tested that, or do you kind of just stay away from mid ticket, high ticket offers altogether?
So we don't stay away from it. I think that there is a portion of ManyChat limitations. I'm not exactly sure if you're able to, like, if somebody buys this, if you're able to have ManyChat make sure that they follow up with every single person that's made a purchase. But what we do is we do send out broadcast messages directly from ManyChat. So if anyone has opted into they purchased a challenge, when that time is up and they're over and they still haven't bought our product, we will send one message that broadcasts to every single person that purchased the challenge. It's like right now, today is Thursday. And so we have a broadcast message going out to every single person that joined our challenge. And so it's not like, we probably have to look into that, but I don't think that you can actually do that in terms of like the automated like flow of it yet.
Okay, that makes sense. So, like, just so I'm understanding clearly, you're basically saying, at least to your knowledge, in mini chat, there's not like, how in email workflows you can have like some sort of decision tree where it's like, is this person already a buyer? Yes or no. So you're saying in mini chat, to your knowledge, you're not aware that there is that decision tree moment. Okay, so it has to be a broadcast to all.
I'm sure it's probably, if ManyChat doesn't have it, probably Go High Level probably has it, or Group Track. Some of the, because what I'm learning is that everybody's like ManyChat is way behind Go High Level and Group Track. So we are actually, as a company, looking at like Go High Level, like what y'all doing? You know?
No, that's really
Yeah.
good to know, because I feel like sometimes name recognition for a certain brand like ManyChat, everyone just assumes, oh, that's like the industry standard. Let's use that. But that's really good to know. Okay, if you do switch over to either one of those other softwares you mentioned, you'll have to like come back and give us an update on if you felt like there was a real difference there in terms of the refinement, I guess, of your automation. Speaking though of these messages, these automated follow-up messages, I don't know if you have it in front of you, like if you can pull up your phone and maybe look at one of your DMs, but I think it'd be really helpful for our listeners who maybe are newer to setting up a mini chat automation if you could actually read aloud, like, okay, once someone's giving you their name and email, and then you're sending them like those follow-up messages, either directing them to the challenge or whatever else it may be, if you could actually like literally read us through one of those sequences, I think that would be immensely helpful to our listeners.
So basically, when you go to one of my accounts, I went in and I acted like I was wanting to get the hooks. And all I did was I just typed in the word hooks. And then immediately it got a message that says, check your DMs for the hooks. Once I got into my DM, it says, hey, nice to see you back, Keenya. Click below to download the 75 hooks. And so once I did that, then it asked me for my name. I gave them my name. And then it asked me, what is your email address? And I gave them my email address. And then it said, click below to grab the hooks. And so when they clicked it, now it goes directly to Google Drive where they can download the hooks. But then after that happened, it then said, hey there, if you're ready to learn how to, I can't see how long ago it was, but I think it was probably about 6 or 7 hours. Hey there, if you're ready to learn how to market your business using short video marketing, then the vertical video mastery course is for you. Come and join us. Click below. Now we're offering our paid product.
Okay. So that was super helpful. Thank you. I know our people love like those word for word scripts. So at that point when you're like, here's a link to that. Let's say like if someone responds in any way, is there any other message that's like automated to follow that, or is that kind of where it ends unless, they ask a manual question that your team then comes in to answer?
So what happened immediately after that, because I didn't respond to my own message, it sent me another message 6 hours later and was talking to me all about the vertical video mastery and said click below to join. I still didn't take action with it. So then it messaged me again 4 hours later, and then it messaged me again 24 hours later. And so I think the way we have it set up, I have to remember this, but I think the way we set up is that I think there's probably some type of sensitivity on the inside of ManyChat to where if they actually go through it and buy it, the message stops. But I can't quite remember that right off the top of my head.
No, totally understandable. Would you be willing to share any of those like follow up messages and actually read them aloud as well? Because I think sometimes something that people struggle with is how do I continue to follow up with someone about the same thing without sounding like a broken record or being annoying, right? Which is most people's fear around follow up. So, anyways, if you want to share how you kind of approach it from different angles with your messages.
So the second message was, no doubt that vertical video is the fastest way to reach your audience today on social media. And with so many platforms having this feature, it can be very overwhelming with the details, but not anymore. Click below to join VVM. Then the 4 hours after that, hey again, how did it go with the free templates and video training, which is what they downloaded earlier? I also wanted to let you know that the vertical video mastery is now open for enrollment. Join me as I'm going to be teaching you how to build your business and market yourself using Instagram and TikTok for 8 straight weeks. Then the last message is, we don't focus on followers, but dollars using Reels and TikTok, which is why I'm checking in to remind you of our vertical video mastery.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much for being willing to do that. Like, give us the full back end of your automation. If you appreciated that, please send Keenya a DM today and say thank you for giving us the whole look at your automation flow. Let's talk about the numbers in your actual case study. So, we previewed at the beginning that in the last 60 days, you've gotten 428 leads for, through, I guess, ManyChat bot automations. And of those 428, you had 78 people purchase. So that's an 18% conversion, by the way, for our listeners. That's incredible. Have you noticed an average sales cycle from a lead to a purchase? What I mean by that is, on average, have you noticed, let's say it takes people an average of 7 days from when they first became a lead to buying anything of yours, or maybe it's less than that or more than that. Do you have like a cadence in mind there?
For sure. So I would say on average, because we reach so many people so often, it's between 4 to 6 months before they're actually purchasing. And one of the reasons is because our customer is still kind of like on the fence around vertical short form video. If it was me as a coach, it's one thing, but like with vertical short video, they're still like, they're having this moment or what have you. But we do have the people who are ready for vertical short video. It probably takes them about 2 weeks to 2 to 6 weeks before they purchase, because they're ready. They're just trying to decide if I'm the right person for them.
Right. Thank you for giving that extra context, by the way. I think that's something that people often forget when they're selling products, that people are at different stages of awareness. And I think you painted that beautifully. Like, if you're not even sure, if you're not even sold on vertical video as a vehicle to market your business, then yeah, it's going to be hard for you to want to buy any solution to that problem if you don't even think you have that problem, right?
Yep, that's it.
That is so helpful. Now let's, in your actual breakdown of these different products. So the 78 people who bought, for our listeners, this is what it looked like. 37 people purchased Vertical Video Accelerator. 25 people bought the 3-day TikTok and Reels for Business challenge. And again, that was the low ticket $27 offer that Keenya mentioned earlier. 9 people upgraded to VIP from that challenge, and then 7 people bought Vertical Video Mastery. Now, real quick, Vertical Video Accelerator versus Vertical Video Mastery. What is the distinction between those two offers?
So the accelerator, that's basically where it's like a membership. And so you're paying I think it's $27 a month, and you're in a community with hundreds of entrepreneurs, and they are able to jump on group calls with me twice a month. We look at their content once a month, and they're able to just get support from me and our team and the whole community in there every single month. Mastery is our course. So here is where we're breaking down all things with Reels, all tutorials, all things with TikTok, everything that I know about video marketing strategy, transitions, how to go viral, and all that. Plus, it comes with 8 weeks of live group coaching with me. So they are, and so the accelerator is like 27. The mastery is 11.97. So I'm basically coaching them every single week for 8 weeks, and we only usually have about 30 people in there, so it's very, very high touch.
I love that. So the accelerator is kind of like a ad hoc, like, hey, jump in with a question as you need it, but there's no really set pathway or curriculum. Whereas the mastery feels very structured and you're guiding them through a step-by-step process.
Exactly.
I love that. So just so you all know, these 78 conversions added $15,385 to Kenya's revenue. And that's only in 60 days. And this is from social media leads, which is incredible. Do you know by any chance if like the majority of these 400 some leads were already existing followers, or if they were new people who were discovering your content through like a vertical video that just showed up on their explore page? Do you know, just even if it's like a general sense and not a specific number, about how many were existing followers versus new people?
Yeah, I think that it was probably 60-40. 60 are current followers and 40 that are brand new to us, because we try our best to go after new people every single day. But I think it was 60-40 though.
That's such an impressive split. Still, like, really just like wanting to drive that home for our listeners. Like, think about 40% of your email list growth coming from people who are cold to you and not using ads to do that. Well, I guess I shouldn't assume that. I should double check with you. Do you currently amplify any of your content with paid traffic, or is this truly all organic?
This is all organic.
Wow. Such a good, I mean, that's hard to beat, really, with getting that high of a percentage of people who aren't already following you. So I guess I want to dig into that then, like with the content that you're creating, the vertical videos that you are creating yourself that are getting people to comment the keyword and bring them into the DMs in the first place with the ManyChat automations. What type of content are you seeing perform really well for getting people to actually comment the word right now?
I think you're going to be very surprised when I say this. It's memes.
Really? Meme, like static memes, just like,
Static memes. Yes. Like one of our most top performing memes is it's an old picture of Kim Kardashian and she's on the phone looking out. And I just say, hey, bestie, your video needs a hook. Comments, hooks below. Oh my God, the hundreds of people that opt into the bot for that. So we recycle that every 90 days because people just, for what that's the number one meme. And so then if we use old Taylor Swift things or Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy, not the main current one things that are happening, but like things that people can just completely relate to and our message relates to them, memes just are something special.
okay, you are right. That totally caught me by surprise. I thought your answer was going to be something video based for sure. That is fascinating. I'm trying to think through, like, have I seen any memes recently with a comment this word type of call to action? I'm not sure. Now I'm gonna have to go like stalk your page and find all the different memes that you've made, because that's brilliant for inspiration. I'm a huge Swiftie, so I've got to know, like, what is an example of an old like Taylor meme that you've created that also has worked well, if you can think of one off the top of your head.
For sure. So it was definitely the one right after the Super Bowl when her and Travis were hugging and she was like, oh my God. And so we did like a series of 3 of those memes and we just put something like, I'm so glad I was able to get those hooks. Comment below. And then the next one was something else about, oh my God, my videos are down, but you're here to save the day. And then we just keep like only the first one has comment hooks on it. And then we just like make them funny throughout. And then of course the caption is telling them to do the exact same thing. Now I did just learn a trick this morning and I was like, we're implementing that today. And what one of the marketers are doing is they're putting in the meme and all that, but the first words of their caption in like brackets says comment keyword. So it says comment keyword and then they write their caption. And I was like, that makes total sense because not everybody's going to get to the bottom of your caption. They're just not going to get there. And like, but if it's first, you're guaranteed.
That is so smart because it's like you're kind of like preceding this action in their brains, like, hey, don't forget, this is what I want you to do, from whatever you're going to read about. So that's so smart. I don't know why. Maybe it just hasn't come across my feed yet because I see like the specific Taylor Travis meme that you're referring. I can literally see the image in my brain, and I've seen tons. Like I remember even like after the Oscars recently, there were tons of memes circulating with different viral moments that happened that night. But usually those memes are just like for fun, like to have a laugh, or like like if you can relate or share this with a friend or whatever. But I haven't really seen people like utilize the meme as a way to like get someone to comment a keyword. So that's so smart. I love that you shared this tip with us. Do you keep like a one-to-one pairing between your hooks and your freebies? What I mean by that is like, so, we've used that keyword hooks over and over again. By the way, if you're listening to this episode, like you've got to go comment hooks somewhere on Kenya's page just to see this in action, right? So like, we'll make sure to link Kenya's Instagram below so you can test this out for yourself in real time. But like, for example, hooks leads them to that hooks guide that you have with like those 75 ideas, right? Do you only use that one keyword to direct them to that freebie, or does that freebie actually have like a series of different keywords that you'll rotate through depending on what the post is?
So right now we are only using the word hooks because in the social media space, the number one thing that people are realizing they're not doing right is hooks. So we're just using that phrase. I do think that it is probably wise of us to try different keywords to get people there. But right now it's just such a hot thing of people needing, and we're just using what's working right now.
Well, and it's so clear too. So it's like, why fix what's not broken, right? That totally makes sense. What are some of the other keyword examples that you're currently have a mini chat automation set up for? I'm just wondering if all of them are like one word, like very obvious words, or if do you try phrases ever? Like, tell me some of those other keywords that you're testing.
So we just literally use typically one keyword because I mean we're all human and we misspell words. We all have the whole fat finger thing where you type the wrong all the things or whatever. So we typically just use like one word, and we have a lot of them. Like I have a podcast, and if you comment the word podcast, it's going to lead you to my Keenya Kelly podcast. If you comment the word YouTube, it's going to lead you to my YouTube channel. If you comment the word TikTok, it's going to lead you to our TikTok guide. And then the word monetize is going to lead you to our monetize a talk course. So we're constantly like, we all have all types of freebies, and depending upon what we're trying to launch, what we're trying to sell, is what we're talking about on social. I even have I have a podcast for it's called You, Me, and Jesus. And if you type the word Jesus, you're gonna get the podcast. So if people are like, "Whoa, didn't know you had a podcast," and I'm like, "Ha, gotcha." No,
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to like play with all these and just like comment all these random
my
keywords
God.
and like see what you send me. I mean,
Right.
I really it's such a good way I think to learn from others is to just be part of their process, their funnel, whatever it is, and get to experience it on the user side.
I will say this. I learned something from some of the other marketers because, like, I became this accidental influencer where brands want to pay me to create content or whatever. And of course, we know that the platforms don't really like for us to say, click the link in bio. And so now we are able, when we're selling like the package to the brand, to say, hey, we will create a chat bot and it will look like this, and this. And every single time we talk to a brand, they're always like, what? And we're like, we can guarantee we can get them into our DMs. They go crazy about it.
Oh, that is like goal as someone who does a lot of brand partnerships and sponsorships. That's so smart. And what a great way to differentiate yourselves. And I mean, I can see why brands just salivate over that because it's like the intimacy of a DM really just heightens the affinity or the relationship they feel with that brand or whatever it is they're trying to promote. So smart. That one piece alone is like makes this entire episode gold. So like please don't underestimate the power of that. Thank you for sharing that awesome tip. I really appreciate that. You mentioned a moment ago that you have a myriad of freebies that you're, promoting and rotating through all the time. Do you have like for example, like your signature program, the vertical video mastery, do you have a bunch of different freebies that are all eventually tracking to that, or maybe the challenge is actually a better example to bring up here because you said usually the DM automation leads to like one of those low ticket offers like the challenge. Do you have several different freebies, all driving to that challenge at the same time? And like you mentioned the hooks a bunch of times, but what other freebies are you using to drive to that right now?
Yeah, so we have a guide that's called TikTok for Female Coaches. And so when they download that, they get a PDF and a training. And that word TikTok will guide them to that free guide. And then when we're in launch mode of that, of the challenge, that immediately sells them into the challenge. When the challenge is not happening, then it's automatically trying to sell them into a evergreen product for TikTok marketing. Then we have one that's called vertical video templates. And so if they comment the word templates, it's going to give them 5 TikTok things that they can do for videos, and then 5 Instagram Reels things that they can do for videos. Here's what it is. Here's how you can use it. Here's an example, all in a PDF. And during a launch, obviously, it's going to take them directly to the product and or to the challenge. When it's not, then we're we're sending them to our vertical video mastery evergreen. So it's like it's either going to be the live launch or it's always going to be an evergreen product.
Okay, that makes sense to distinguish between those. So like, okay, templates, hooks, TikTok, those are 3 keywords all driving to the same front end offer. How often are you rotating between these 3? Like, is it every single week you're going to see at least one post directing to all 3? Do you kind of go hard on hooks for, a month and then you switch over to the next freebie? Like, how do you kind of plan out which ones you're featuring?
So what we're doing is we're looking to see like every single time we talk about the TikTok freebies, how many people are actually triggering the bot. Right. And if that is like, if people are just not triggering the bot with that, then we're like, we got to put you down for a little while because you're not giving us a desired result. But then we also like right now we're in a phase of looking at that actual freebie to determine is that the freebie we should still be offering them when it comes to TikTok, because maybe they're not opting into it because they don't want it. And so then we're looking at like if we talk about the templates and we talk about the hooks, what is the result that we're getting? Not just are they opting in, but like which one is also causing them to convert into paid sales. And so right now we're just seeing hooks because everybody is like, oh my God, I got to get hooks for my videos. So we're focused heavily on that. But every single quarter, we relook at our freebies and determine, should we keep going with this or should we create a new one?
So, so smart. And I'm assuming you're able to determine on the back end which hook they originally came from because they're segmented that way in your email list with the Zapier, the initial. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Super, super helpful. My last question around this case study to wrap up these details is the call to actions. So obviously with a ManyChat automation, the whole point is to get someone to comment a keyword. So it seems the most logical call to action is just to literally say like comment hooks, comment templates, or whatever it may be. Do you just stick by that rule, or are there some other more creative call to actions that you've tried before that actually have worked well for you?
I think we use creativity with it. So like if we're using a meme like Kim Kardashian, we still have to tell them to comment the word hooks, but our the way that we're kind of talking to them in the meme or in the video and then the caption, it just makes sense for them to comment the particular word. We're not really using right now like additional creativity because we don't really need to. It's working so well. But in the future, we might try to switch it up a little bit. Because I also I try not to make people feel like we baited them, we click baited them or whatever. Like we want them to go, this is this, is this, is that. And you're like, okay, she told me what I'm gonna getting. It's in my DM for it. I trust her because we're trying to build trust that entire way for them to buy. So I just want to give them that feeling of, oh, this is what this is. And okay, I got exactly what she said, or however she said it.
No, such a great approach because I think consent-based marketing is absolutely crucial and giving people the power back and just saying, hey, like you have the option, what word's going to trigger everything else. So like if you don't want it, don't say it. So yeah, I love that autonomy and that power that you're giving to your audience, Keenya. Thank you so much. This was incredibly helpful. Outside of just stalking your Instagram and going through all of your chat automations themselves, which again, Keenya's Instagram will be below in the show notes, is there anywhere else that you would like to send people to connect with you?
For sure. So we are currently right now working on my YouTube channel and my LinkedIn. Of course, we're on TikTok. We're huge on TikTok, but you can follow me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and everything to find me is all Keenya Kelly.
Amazing. And again, all of those links will be below in the show notes. So make sure you scroll down, click, go connect, say thank you for Keenya's transparency. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.